Hello everyone, welcome back to your class. Today we shall deal with the fourth chapter, that is materials, metals and non-metals. Today we'll be talking about only the first part of the chapter. Now, what are metals? Materials are hard, lustrous, malleable, ductile, sonorous and good conductors of heat and electricity. The materials which generally possess these properties are called metals. For example, iron, aluminium, magnesium, etc. Now, metals andre yenu? So materials that are hard, lustrous, malleable. Hard andre yenu? Hard andre ಗಟ್ಟಿ ಇರೋದು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾರ್ಡ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಲಸ್ಟ್ರಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಶೈನಿಂಗ್ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್. ನೀವಿಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೆಟಲ್ಸ್. ನೀವು ಕಾಪರ್ ವೈರ್ ನ ನೋಡಿರ್ತೀರಾ ಮನೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಅಂಗಡಿಗಳಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ. ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಸಿಟಿಗೆ ಕಾಪರ್ ವೈರ್ ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಆ ಕಾಪರ್ ವೈರ್ಗೂ ಒಂಥರ ಒಂದು ಶೈನಿಂಗ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಲಸ್ಟ್ರಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಥವಾ ನೀವು ಮನೇಲೂ ಮೆಟಲ್ ಪ್ಲೇಟ್ಗಳನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು. ಮೆಟಲ್ ಪ್ಲೇಟ್ಗಳಿಗೂ ಒಂಥರ ಶೈನ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. That is known as lustrous in English. Next, malleable, ductile and sonorous. So we will see the meaning of all these words in the next slides. And also metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. ನಾವು metals ನ heat ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಇವಾಗ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾತ್ರೆಗಳನ್ನ heat ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಬೇಗ ಬಿಸಿ ಅಂಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಅದು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಬಿಸಿಯಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. So that is why they are known as good conductors of heat and electricity. So you all know, ನೀವು ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಸಿಟಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಕಾಪರ್ ವೈರ್ ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಯೂಶಲಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಸಿಟಿ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಮೆಟಲ್ ವೈರ್ಸ್ ನೇ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮೆಟಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ನೋನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ good conduction of heat and electricity. Okay, so the materials whichever possess all these properties are known as metals. So ಯಾವ materials ಗೆ ಈ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿಗಳು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಹಾರ್ಡ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಲಸ್ಟ್ರಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು, ಮ್ಯಾಲಿಯಬಲ್, ಡಕ್ಟೈಲ್, ಸೊನರಸ್, ಸೊ ಇದೆಲ್ಲಾ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟೀಸ್ ಇರೋವಂತ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ಸ್ ನ ನಾವು ಮೆಟಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಯರ್ ಆರ್ ಫ್ಯೂ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಕಾಪರ್, lead, tin, zinc, steel and nickel. Now coming to the words, malleability. Metals are malleable, now you know that. So what is malleability? The property of metals by which they can be beaten into thin sheets is called malleability. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮೆಟಲ್ಸ್ ನಾವಿವಾಗ ಮೆಟಲ್ಸ್ ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಅದು ಒಂದು ಈ ತರ ನೋಡಿ, ಈ ತರ ಕಲ್ ತರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಒಡೆದು ಈ ತರ ಹ್ಯಾಮರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕುಟ್ಟಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಈ ತರ ಒಂದು ಥಿನ್ ಪ್ಲೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಇಸ್ possessed only by the metals. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಕಲ್ ತರ ಇರೋದನ್ನ ಹ್ಯಾಮರ್ ಹಾಕಿ ಬೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಈ ತರ ಥಿನ್ ಪ್ಲೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೈ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋನ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ malleable metal. So metals are mostly malleable. This property, the property of metals by which they can be beaten into thin sheets is called malleability. Okay. Next, coming to ductility. So the property of metals by which it can be drawn into wires is called ductility. So same, ಈ ತರ ಕಾಪರ್ ಮೆಟಲ್ ಈ ತರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಇದನ್ನ ತಿರ್ಗಾ ಹ್ಯಾಮರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊಡೆದು ಈ ತರ ಕಾಪರ್ ವೈರ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಇಸ್ ನೋನ್ ಆಸ್ ಡಕ್ಟಿಲಿಟಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, sonorous. Metals produce ringing sounds. They are said to be sonorous. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಲೇಟ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಚಿಕ್ಕವರಿದ್ದಾಗ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೊಡೆದಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಪ್ಲೇಟ್ ನ ಹೊಡೆದ್ರೆ ಅದೊಂಥರ ಸೌಂಡ್ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ, ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ sonorous ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸಸ್ ಅ ವೆರಿ ರಿಂಗಿಂಗ್ ಸೌಂಡ್. ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳಿಗಂತೂ ಇದು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಕಾಲ್ಗೆಜ್ಜೆಗಳು, ಅದನ್ನ ಆಂಕ್ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಈ ತರ ಆಂಕ್ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಮೇಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೆಟಲ್ಸ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಮಣಿಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಹೊಡ್ಕೊಂಡಾಗ ಅದು ಒಂದು ರಿಂಗಿಂಗ್ ಸೌಂಡ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ನಿಮಗೆ ಕಾಲ್ ಗೆಜ್ಜೆಗಳದ್ದು ಸೌಂಡ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋನ್ ಆಸ್ sonorous. Next, coming to non-metals. What are non-metals? Materials that are not hard, malleable, ductile, sonorous, and which are not good conductors of heat and electricity are known as non-metals. So the materials that do not possess any of the characteristics like hard, malleability, ductility, sonorous, or even if they are not good conductors of heat and electricity, they are known as non-metals. For example, you have plastic, clothes, coal, etc. So you know your plastic bottles, you cannot conduct electricity with your plastic bottles ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಮತ್ತೆ ನೀವು ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಬಾಟ್ಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಸಿಯಾಗಿರೋ ನೀರ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೇನು ಅದು ಬಾಟಲ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಹೀಟ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಲೈಕ್ ನೀವು ಮೆಟಲ್ ಪ್ಲೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಸಿ ನೀರ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಬೇಗ ಅದು ಹೀಟ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೋ ಆ ತರ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೈ these are known as non-metals. Plus ಬಟ್ಟೆಗಳು ಕೂಡ, clothes are also belong to non-metals. Next, heat and electricity. Iron rod, nails, and copper wire are good conductors of heat and electricity, while rolled sulfur, plastic, and coal pieces are poor conductors. So that means metals, all these iron rod, nail, copper are all metals. So all the metals are good conductors of heat and electricity, while sulfur, plastic, coal are poor conductors. That is, non-metals are poor conductors of heat and electricity. So now electricity na ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಕಂಬಗಳನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿರ್ತೀರಾ ಅಲ್ವಾ, the electric wires. So our electric wires are usually made of copper conductors. So copper is a metal which is a very good conductor of heat and electricity. Now ಇದನ್ನ ಮುಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಶಾಕ್ ಹೊಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ. That is why usually the copper wires are surrounded by plastic. So plastic is a non-metal, which means it is a poor conductor of heat and electricity. So since it is a poor conductor, it can prevent you from getting the shock. That is why usually all the conductors are surrounded by something plastic or usually a non-metal. Okay. Next, chemical properties of metals and non-metals. The first is reaction of metals with oxygen. So here you can see when a metal reacts with oxygen, there is a chemical change and a metal oxide is produced. So please repeat after me. What happens when metals react with oxygen is, when a metal reacts with oxygen, there is a chemical change and a metal oxide is produced. So if you want to write it, you can write metals plus oxygen gives you metal oxide. Okay, please idana neevu notes allu bariri. Metals plus oxygen gives you metal oxides. Okay, now we shall see few examples for this. Now, reaction of magnesium with air. Now, magnesium is also an example for metals. Okay, so when magnesium is reacted with air or oxygen, it produces magnesium oxide. So here what you see, this ribbon, the gray color ribbon is your magnesium ribbon. Okay, so when this magnesium is reacted in with oxygen, okay, just if you keep this in air, what happens is you get magnesium oxide. Okay, here You have the spelling, magnesium oxide. So chemically when you write it, it is 2 Mg. Mg is magnesium. So 2 molecules of magnesium plus oxygen, O2, gives you magnesium oxide. That is 2 MgO. Okay. This is the reaction of magnesium with oxygen. Next, the second example is iron. You all know iron is also a metal. So when iron is exposed to air and moisture, it undergoes chemical reactions to form rust. ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ರಸ್ಟ್ ಹಿಡಿದಿರೋ ಪಾತ್ರೆಗಳನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿರ್ತೀರಾ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ರಿಗಳಲ್ಲೋ ಅಥವಾ ಮನೆ ಹೊರಗೆ ಅಯನ್ದು ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ರಾಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ ಅದ್ ಬೇಗ ರಸ್ಟ್ ಹಿಡಿಯುತ್ತೆ, ತುಕ್ ಹಿಡಿಯುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು this is a reaction of metals with air. Okay, that is the iron with air. So when iron, that is ferrous is scientific name for iron. When iron is reacted with oxygen, you get ferrous oxide. Okay, that is when 4 molecules of ferrous iron is reacted with 3 molecules of oxygen, O2, you get ferrous oxide, that is Fe2O3. 2 molecules of Fe2 and Fe2O3. And here ferrous, that is iron, is a solid. This everywhere the bracket represents its state. That is, this is solid, this is gas, oxygen is a gas, and ferrous oxide is again a solid. So you can actually see this with in life. So you can see this outside your house or anywhere where you have kept iron. Initially when you keep iron outside, it is very nice. It is again you can see it here. So this is your initial state of iron. So it is very beautiful, it is very lustrous, and it looks very nice. But the same thing, if it is exposed for a long time to air and moisture, it somewhat becomes like this. That is, it gets rusted over the years. So how does this rust happen? Is because of this reaction. Okay, so this rust is nothing but ferrous oxide. It is just not ferrous here. It is not just not iron. It is iron with oxygen. Okay. Next, when metals react with oxygen, red litmus turns blue. Now, I hope you all know what is a litmus paper. So litmus paper is basically used to know if a solution is acidic or basic. Now, I'm sure you all would have learned what acid and bases are, right? So now, how do you identify if a mixture is acidic or basic? ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಆಸಿಡ್ ಬೇಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಓದಿರ್ತೀರಾ. ಇವಾಗ ನಿಮ್ ಮುಂದೆ ನಾನು ಒಂದು ಪಾತ್ರೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೀರ್ ತರ ಏನೋ ಇಟ್ಟಿರ್ತೀನಿ. ಅದು ಇವಾಗ ಆಸಿಡಾ ಅಥವಾ ಬೇಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ? That is by using litmus paper. So you use something known as litmus paper. Now there are 2 types of litmus paper. One is red and the other is blue litmus paper. So when you put the red litmus paper, when you dip it into the solution, and if the litmus paper turns blue, then this solution is known as alkaline solution. That is, this is a base. ನೀವು ರೆಡ್ ಲಿಟ್ಮಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ನ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಬ್ಲೂ ಕಲರ್ ಆಗಿ, ಲಿಟ್ಮಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಬ್ಲೂ ಕಲರ್ ಆಗಿ ಟರ್ನ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಈ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಬೇಸ್ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ what the scientists observed was the oxides of metals are basic in nature. That is, when they dipped the red litmus paper in the solution, it turned blue. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ನೋಡಬಹುದು, when the red litmus paper was dipped in the solution, it turned blue. That is why this is known as, now they confirmed that the oxides of metals are basic in nature. Next, reaction of non-metals with air. Non-metals react with oxygen to form non-metallic oxides. These oxides are acidic in nature. Okay. Now, how did they get to know that the non-metals are acidic in nature? Is by, again, this experiment. Sorry. So here, if this litmus paper was blue and it turned red, then it means the solution was acidic. Okay. So ಇದನ್ನ ಉಲ್ಟಾ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ಇದು ಫುಲ್ ಬ್ಲೂ ಲಿಟ್ಮಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಆಗಿ ಇದು ರೆಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಟರ್ನ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಆಸಿಡಿಕ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. So usually the non-metals, that is when the non-metals reacted with oxygen, they formed non-metallic oxides. So when these oxides were subjected to the litmus paper turned red. That is why these oxides were known as acidic. Okay, so some examples for non-metals are sulfur, carbon, nitrogen, hydrogen, etc. So now we shall see few examples. Now, when carbon reacts with oxygen, it gives carbon dioxide. Carbon C is a solid. Okay, oxygen O2 is a gas. This, when reacted, it gives carbon dioxide CO2, which is a gas. Next, you have nitrogen N2. When reacts with oxygen, that is O2, it gives nitrous oxide, that is 2NO, which is again gas. Next, sulfur S8. When reacted with 8 molecules of oxygen O2, it gives 8 molecules of sulfur dioxide, that is SO2, which is a gas again. I hope you guys have understood whatever has been taught. Whatever doubts you have, please put it in comments below and I will definitely clear it for you. Thank you.